Hello and welcome to What Keeps You Awake.tv. It's time again to dive into the hustles, the hurdles, and the highs that keep small business leaders up at night. I'm your host, David Hooser, and I'm super excited to welcome today's guest, Todd Spitzer.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Todd is founder and CEO of Ion Jets, a private jet service based in Scottsdale with a niche of offering short notice global travel access to celebrities, politicians, business execs, and high net worth individuals.
That sounds better than the way I say it, sir.
That's
yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Todd.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Let's get started with our foundational question. So tell me, as kind of a first responder by nature and a serial entrepreneur, what keeps you awake late at night?
This is a 2-hour podcast, right?
That's right.
No,
That's right. Good take.
That's a very good question. I thought about it a lot since we chatted a little bit, but I really think what keeps me up at night is how do you keep things going in an economy and a world that's changing every day.
Right.
And not from the business side of it so much, but as you said, I was a first responder, and family is huge to me. Sometimes that's not blood, brotherhood and sisterhood in the fire service, things like that.
It's community.
We've bled that into Ion Jets too. And our team, we vacation together. We do everything together. And so what really keeps me up at night is making sure that I make the right decisions to propel forward every day, because we're all commission based.
Right.
So I have tons of team members with kids and things like that. So that's what really keeps me up, is making sure I'm making the right choices for them.
So Ion Jets, tell us a little bit about it. When did it start?
Yeah.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah, the concept came up in 2010.
Okay.
And I had a little bit of a non-compete at the time with another firm that I was working with. So I had to take a few years. And so once that was done, we officially launched in 2013.
Okay.
And as you mentioned earlier, we have a worldwide network of aircraft that's about 5,000 now deep. And so we do flights for government agencies, as you said, celebrities, just high net worth individuals and business owners all over the world.
So you have that's a 5,000 craft is a big network. So how do you coordinate? How does it work? Me as a individual, I want to charter a flight to LA next Thursday.
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. It actually is about how it's useful to use a broker. So we have, our job is, it's not something that you can't do on your own. Okay. To be honest with you, you can go on to Google, you could find, local charter companies or you can get a quote for an aircraft. But working with a broker and what we do is we were able to take all of these networks of aircraft operators around the world, and there's a few good software systems that are only available to those in the industry. We're able to get those, kind of white label them a little bit, tailor them to what we need.
Okay.
And so what's nice is when you call, like for us, for like that trip you want to do, we can provide instant quotes. Well, I shouldn't say instant. Within about an hour, we could provide quotes for multiple different aircraft, which could probably take you individually maybe a day or two to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so I would go to ionjets.com and from there, identify who I am, what I need, and you would come back to me with my option.
Yeah, our website is useful for that, but in reality, it is, we've kind of been old school. We like to mix a little bit of tech and also personal one-to-one. So believe it or not, most of my team, we are overly communicative to a point, and we've realized that's been the secret sauce for us too. Tech has its place. There's nothing wrong with that, but maybe I'm old school or whatever, but we mix a little bit of that personal touch with the technology.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And I think that's going to be a differentiator in the future, because so many people are saying, I'm going to, AI agents, and people are going to get, I'm always in the future going to say, are you a live person?
Yeah. Yeah, my wife laughs at me now. I don't know if I'm considered a boomer now for that, but I've also been guilty of like just wanting to talk to somebody sometimes instead of pressing 2 for this, 3 for that, or
right.
whatever. Yeah. So we really, that was the one thing that our clients really, really enjoy. And to be honest with you, it's actually turned tons of our clients into friends.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
because we built the relationship not on a piece of equipment.
Right,
We based it off of actually being in the thick of it with them. Yeah.
So how big's your team here in?
Well,
Is it just Arizona?
No, we have actually, we have an office in LA. And we have 2 folks there. The VP of my flight coordination, we call it Flight Co, is out there, as well as my COO, who is out there.
Okay.
And then here in Arizona, we have 4 of us that are here, that are basically, believe it or not, between Payson and actually North Phoenix and North Scottsdale.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a small team, but we're pretty mighty.
All right. And then you said the idea behind it came about in 2010. What was the genesis of you getting this? Because you were, at that time, you were a firefighter.
No, actually at that time I was
You had already transitioned.
Yeah.
Right.
So in 04 I transitioned from fire. Well, actually I should say 02 from fire to aviation, but in 04 I switched to the private side.
Oh, okay.
Before that I was on the commercial side, like Delta, United, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
In 04 I was approached by what I consider, I love these guys to death. They introduced me to the business, Ricky Sittimer and Todd Rome. They owned a company called Blue Star Jets out in New York.
Okay.
And if you ever watch the movie Wall Street, that's where they got the name from, was Blue Star Airlines on
Got
there.
it.
And so that says a lot. To answer your question, it actually says a lot about how I got ION, because all of these gentlemen that started that company worked for even Stratton Oakmont, who owns Jordan Belfort, if you ever heard of the Wolf of Wall Street. They all kind of moved from one place to another, and when they weren't able to do that anymore because of the SEC,
Right.
they wanted to get into a business that had commission but not a lot of regulation at that time.
Okay.
And so I love the way that I was trained in sales. I will always be appreciative of what they taught me. However, it also didn't align with a lot of some of the moral and ethical things that I wanted to do. And so while I was appreciative to learn the hustle, learn how to do 500 calls a day, learn how to, negotiate the deals, as I got older and I got a little bit more mature in how I want to do things in my life, it didn't align. And so I just came off the heels of, of the crash of 08, the financial crash of 07, 08. And then unfortunately I went through a divorce at that time too. So 07, 08, and 09 weren't really great years, but it formulated what I wanted. And, I had a non-compete. And so I honored that. And ION's first tagline was a positive approach. We wanted to actually bring a little bit of positivity to an industry that was kind of cutthroat.
Okay.
And so the whole goal was to blend a little bit of that cutthroatness, but also still keeping moral and ethical at the same time.
Okay. Now, how do you promote ION Jets now?
Well, we celebrated our 10-year, back in 2023, and we really dived back and looked at it. And it's funny. Our clientele are really not through a lot of normal marketing means.
Sure.
You can't just do a Google. You can't be, you want to go and try to be number one on Google page, but that's not a differentiating factor for somebody to use you.
Right.
Social media, it's the same thing. It's not there. So what we really focused on for the first 5 to 6 years of ION was actually internally. We made sure that our staff was fully trained on all FAA regulations, DOT regulations, how to negotiate, how to actually speak to the operators that we work with, because they are the ones that are actually legally responsible to a lot of these rules. So we wanted to be educated enough to be able to talk with them. And so a lot of it at that time was based on my network, a lot of referral based. And then when we finally thought we had a good, COVID hit. And so we had to really adjust there. But in reality, my budget on ION for marketing is less than $10,000 a year. Wow. We don't really need to do much because our service speaks for itself. And I'm not saying it's word of mouth. Yeah. We get mostly referral. Yeah.
Okay. How did COVID impact you? I mean, you would think that private travel would have done well. I mean, commercial travel, we all know, took a huge hit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Well, it was, we were actually on the company trip. We take everybody on a trip every year. And so we were actually in Hawaii when we were up at Turtle Bay Resort. We weren't paying attention to much. We were
Right.
just having a great time. And we didn't even know this was happening until we got on the plane, and we were wondering why everybody was wearing masks. And when we landed, we found out what it was. And that could go along with your question earlier about what keeps you up at night. Because when we landed and we found out what was going on, there was a few choice words that I won't say on here that came through my head on how we're going to navigate this, because it was shut down.
Yeah.
And it was scary. And so one of the things I will say I'm prideful on is I keep ION on a very tight fiscal budget. To be honest with you, we could go for 6-8 months without booking one trip and we'd still be fine.
Okay.
And so I knew I had a little bit of time there to play with, but for 3 months we had 0 flights.
Right.
In fact, we actually went and paid some of our staff, because all of them are commission based. We paid them to kind of keep things going, and took advantage of some of the loans that were available there from the government. PPP. With the first round we were able to do. The second round, they cut it for 1099 staff.
Right.
But and then it was crazy. Just like you mentioned how you thought it'd skyrocket, it all of a sudden went insane.
Right.
And so that was a little bit of breath of fresh air for a little bit.
Right.
But we also knew that could stop at any moment too. So.
And so now, so you're still doing mostly word of mouth, or are you targeting certain sectors or individuals or types of customers?
Well, we still do a lot of referral based. I wish I could mention some of the clients we have. We have a lot of them on NDA, but what's nice about that, not from a flex standpoint, but it's just we've all become really good family. And there's about 4 clients that we've helped them earn about $8 million back in lost revenue through many different things that ION does outside of charter. And
definitely a good family.
Yeah, it's really.
My family does just the opposite.
I just one of our clientele that lives here locally, very, very awesome gentleman. I mean, he was like, "Hey, I haven't seen you for a little bit. Can you come on over for lunch on Saturday?" So we're going to go over there and have lunch with him. You know what I mean? So it turned out well. And to answer the actual question, when we hit the 10-year, we knew we had to change things up a little bit. And so what we're doing now is a little bit more organic. Like I was just telling Jack, I think, I've been asked to do a podcast too, to talk about some of the secrets and the ins and outs of charter. Been asked to write a book about some of the stuff, and I've had some speaking engagements too. So I think that the answer to it right now is, and I don't mean this to sound narcissistic at all, but we need to kind of control the narrative. We need to control the marketing, because our clientele is so thin. So instead of doing normal marketing, we're going to kind of create our own. So we're looking at doing a charitable event at the end of this year or next year, and actually have like a grand gala. We're looking at doing some awards type shows to bring people in and organically see what we're doing, or organically give them information to be more knowledgeable in aviation. Yeah, and in turn, hopefully that kind of helps us on a different level from an authority side.
I know I told you I'm a private pilot.
Yeah.
And I had a 4-seater, just, single engine, Piper Comanche, retractable gear.
That's a nice aircraft.
It's fun. It was fun to fly. And it had to be that I was flying it for fun, because for me in that aircraft, I fly to Vegas. It's, almost 2 hours. Fly to Denver, it's 5 hours. It's fly to San Diego. It's fun, but it wasn't practical for me to fly it from a business standpoint. I just did it because I loved it.
Yeah.
Flew to New Orleans one time.
That's cool. Trip. That's a long trip. Yeah.
Texas is a big state.
Yeah. Probably took a day to get through.
7 hours.
You follow the I-40 for the I-40 Blues going through Texas.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then sold it to a gentleman in Minneapolis, Flying Cloud.
Flying Cloud Aviation. Yeah, I know them well. Yeah,
So I enjoy flying. I've done a few charters.
yeah,
I was talking to groups like Wheels Up.
yeah. Good company.
But and then I started with my business. We started growing overseas,
Okay.
so there was no way I was
Yeah,
going to fly.
yeah. That's a little bit of a different price
Yeah,
tag when you start hopping the
yeah,
pond. Yeah.
yeah. So commercial was the best option for me, and grew my business overseas from that point on. So ultimately sold. I miss flying, but
Yeah. I have a private pilot's license as well, and I haven't flown for about probably 4 or 5 years, and a
yeah,
lot of that has to do with when you're up there, you really need to have clarity. You need to be able
you
to,
do, you
and
do.
there was just too many things going on that your brain can kind of trail a little bit. So I just thought, I'll stay a little bit and
Although
maybe get back into
GPS
it.
made a big
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, yeah,
GPS really,
yeah.
from a private standpoint.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But so any you know kind of thoughts on where the industry's going and private charter?
Um, that's a answer that's probably going to change every day. Again, a little
Okay.
bit. We're all of us in this industry are trying to navigate a lot of the
Any
geopolitical.
tax benefits hits with the new
We actually
bill?
what actually is really nice is we have a kind of a pseudo political arm called the National Business Aviation Administration.
Okay.
They're actually really good when
Lobby
something comes
group.
up like this to kind of get us information that breaks it down. We've tried to look at it a little bit. There is going to be some good tax benefits for our end users, for our clients. For us, I don't think there's going to be much,
Right, right.
but
For the equipment owners, because
yeah,
the bonus
the
depreciation came
depreciation, I think it's back up to
back to
100% now,
100.
right? Yeah. So that's going to be huge. And so I think right now, most of us are kind of just staying a little status quo to kind of see where it's going. I think some of us are waiting to see where AI fits into it. I know we've dabbled into it. We have our own actual system, internal software system being built. And one of our IT guys, Tim, he was able to show us a really amazing AI tool that'll probably save easily 2-3 hours per flight. So we're integrating that and kind of
Wow.
looking at it. Yeah. But we always go at it with the same thought that I was saying earlier, like, okay, how can we use this without taking away the human element? And so that was a big frustration for Tim a little bit, but he's gotten it done, and we're excited. We launched that new software August 1st. So,
But it has to do with the flight plan.
the flight coordination side.
Okay.
Yeah. And we are finishing up talks right now. There's a company out in California has an amazing empty leg program. We have our own as well, which, an empty jet is something repositioning. I firmly believe, and I see it in the industry right now, that collaboration is going to be the key to survival. We're seeing a lot of companies, bigger companies, buy some of the smaller ones, and we see some of the smaller ones collaborating with the other smaller ones. And so we're not small, we're not large, but we're kind of right in the middle. And I'm actually really excited to see what might pop up with this. The company that we are in talks with right now to kind of collaborate. They do what they do best, and we do what we do best. And I don't mean to be a little teaser on it, but it's still under NDA on that. Yeah.
So what's your favorite? What's the most efficient or your favorite aircraft?
Oh man, the most fun to fly in, believe it or not, I miss the Lears.
Yeah.
Those are based off of, if you ever get into a Lear, ask the pilot to do a high performance takeoff.
Yeah.
It's fun. But my absolute favorite aircraft, believe it or not, is going to be either a Challenger or a Gulfstream still. And they both have two very, very different vibes and feels, but I love them. They're great. It's a fun feel, even being almost 20 some years into doing this now. It's still fun walking up to one.
Oh
yeah. It still feels a little,
I mean, it's fun walking it up to any private situation as someone who, and I mean, there are benefits like their JSX.
Oh yeah, great company. Yeah,
it's a growing
Yep.
It's convenient and
Yeah.
the way it gives you that feel of jumping on a charter aircraft.
Yep. Yeah, it's JSX is an interesting. Alex Wilcox, who runs that was originally Jet Suite. If you ever remember the Jet Suite, they used to do this $9.99 LA to Vegas flight, and they switched into the JSX model, and I think it's brilliant. I think it brings the demographic down a little lower.
Right.
It's not our realm per se,
Yeah,
but there's
right.
a lot of times when we talk to our clients, like sometimes they need to use private, sometimes they use commercial, and those are two very different experiences, right? But JSX is kind of like that nice bridge. And so we try to, we've done many times where we've mixed the two.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What else can we bring up that would be relevant to our audience? I mean, how do you go about building that kind of network? I mean, 5,000 aircraft that could be at your disposal.
Yep.
At any given time. That seems like a lot of work.
It was. The software helped out a lot because some of the software aggregated all of them together, and you can put in a request and kind of put it out there to kind of pseudo everybody. But we went one step further, and in the first 5 years, if you remember, I kind of said we did internal first.
Yeah.
And then went external. So we focused on staff first, operations, and part of operations was our relationships with our operators. So we literally did a lot of traveling, a lot of actually going and doing that personal touch again, handshakes, bringing lunches, and being like, hey, we're small. We're not the biggest firm right now or anything, but we will pay our bills, which is something interesting in this industry. We do pay our bills. We're not going to be rude. We're not going to be. We're going to be professional. We're going to treat everybody as professionals too. And you have something we need, and you have something we. They have something that they need from us, which is to keep their aircraft busy, and we're good at what we do. So that in turn. Created a ton of relationships that we still have to this day. And that helped us with pricing, with negotiations, because we went at it from a point that was not aggressive. We went at it from a let's just all win attitude.
And do you offer, does Ion Jets offer kind of a membership model?
Yeah. We were a traditional brokerage firm up until 2022, just kind of at the cusp of the end of COVID. And quite frankly, we had to change our model to a membership model because there was a lot of greedflation in this industry. And again, we at Ion Jets, I know this kind of sounds a little cliche or whatever, but we really believe that we're stewards of people's money. Like just because you're wealthy doesn't mean you can get screwed.
Right.
Just because you're wealthy doesn't mean that, you're not worthy of earning somebody's trust or trusting them. And so we were running in 2022, we were easily running on 1.5% to 5% margins because we didn't want to raise, we were trying to keep everything status quo. And at that point, I did need to switch to some sort of a membership model. And so we do have two of them. We have the Ion 360, which is $1,950 a year. Very nominal compared to some of the other memberships. And then there was a huge demand for empty legs and empty jets. Right. And so we created an API that talked to a lot of the different software systems I was mentioning to you and aggregated all that information into a profile that you choose because there's thousands of empty legs all day. Yeah. So we made it to where it will aggregate only what you request and send it to you every day. And we charged a nominal fee for that just to maintain it, which was only $495 for the year. So that in turn, we talked to our clients. We told them we have to switch to this, and we hated doing it. But that helped us maintain the pricing that we were doing. And then ultimately that greedflation kind of came down a little bit. Right. Not much, but it came down. And that membership money does help us keep things even keel.
So the open leg, is that, do you do open seat options? Or are you able to do that?
No, there's a certain exemption that the FAA will allow you to do a per seat charter, but it comes down to certain rules. So as a pilot, there's Part 91, but on the commercial side, it's Part 121. So when you talk about United, Delta, all those other, they have a certain set of rules that allow you to sell per seat. And the rules and restrictions are a lot heavier because you're carrying, 200-300 people. The on-demand charter side, which is Part 135, the FAA wants to keep that as on-demand. It's basically when you want to go. And so normally, or typically with these per-seat deals, it's usually based around a schedule. And it's very hard to get. JSX had to battle that very hard to get that exemption. There was a company out here up until a few years ago called SetJet that had that exemption as well. And it's one that the FAA is not really, they would like to get rid of it. JSX had a pretty hard battle to keep that going. But we also realize that per seat, it's not really the demographic that we're
it's
at.
Not, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But empty leg, that's an interesting. So what kind of opportunities are there for, if I go on and just look every day, you give me a list of, here's some empty leg flights you could book, charter.
I kind of consider the empty legs, and I tell this to people all the time, do not use an empty leg as a planned trip idea. This is purely one of those things where, if your profile is out of Scottsdale, right? Or Phoenix,
right.
And one day you see a Phoenix to Vegas or Phoenix to Cabo or something like that, it's going to be about 50 to 70% less than normal. It could be, we just saw a empty leg from New York to London for $5,000. And normally that type of trip is about a $50,000 to $100,000. Yeah, easy. Yeah. And so, and
normally,
that was
LA is a $5,000 trip.
And that was, from here to LA is actually nowadays it's almost $10,000 just one way. And so it was, what I try to express to people is if you're dabbling into it and you want to feel the burn of the cost, but not the crazy burn of the cost, mix a little bit of empty legs and then they're commercial. So what we see a lot of people do is if they have I'm just going to use Cabo as an example because that's popular. So if you have an aircraft you see coming from Cabo to Scottsdale or Scottsdale to Cabo, hop on, go in, buy it, have fun, and then just fly American Airlines back home. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or what we do a lot of times, like we mentioned, we like to be stewards of people's money. If you called me and said, hey, on October 12th, I need to go from Scottsdale to New York and come back 2-3 days later, we'll get a jet that fits that profile, but we'll also be watching to see if there's any empty legs that'll match and then try to cancel the other one within the proper time and grab the other one for you. So we do hands-on trip management that way.
So that, to me, that would be worth, you're saying to be a member of that service for you.
Yeah.
Is about $1,100-1,200 a year.
Well, yeah, the Ion 360 program is it's $1,995. Yeah, $2,000. So $2,000. That includes the empty leg program too. Yeah. And the pricing methodology that I had with that was, I'm like, okay, what do we need to do to actually do because at that time period, it was hitting us a little bit. COVID was great, but the greedflation, we were getting a ton of trips.
For you to be able to give me that kind of information.
Oh yeah.
Less than $200 a month. And then, like you said, feel that experience, travel to New York, to Miami, to wherever it is, in a private aircraft.
Yeah.
For that kind of discounted opportunity.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, and that was the methodology that I had back in the time. What is the price point I need to be at that it's a pseudo no-brainer? We're not using people, you know what I'm saying? We're not using them. And also, if they at least fly 2 times a year, it's going to come back to them.
Right.
That was my goal for it. And where it came from also was I'm a firm believer that people they don't remember how they really met you. Sometimes they do, they don't, but they remember the height of the experience and they remember end of the experience. Right. And so what I wanted to do is make sure that when they were on board, they felt that the person that represented them used every option to optimize their dollar as possible.
Sure.
And then when they land and they get off, they just felt good about it.
Right.
Right. And that's where that all kind of came from.
So my buddy that owns this building now, because of the bonus depreciation and some business success that he had a couple of years ago, bought did he buy a Hawker? Yeah, I think he bought a Hawker.
Okay. Good aircraft.
Yeah, it's a great aircraft. And we took it to Costa Rica.
Oh, lucky dog you. That's a nice one.
I think in
it's better than saying
May
you're going
of
to Oklahoma.
24. May of 24. It was a great flight. And like you said, it's the experience. We brought it back too, waited on it. But it's just when you get off of that private charter and you come out and you're treated like, the VIP you are because you just got off that aircraft. It's just a feeling you don't forget. And your kids or your significant other, your business associates, your clients.
Oh, yeah.
It's a phenomenal feeling.
Oh, it is. And you hit it right on the head there, sir. So like when we talk about our marketing and what we spend and how we get out to people, there is literally zero marketing efforts out there that target the 1%, the high net worth individuals in a way that they really receive, right? So most of the times when somebody gets to that point in their life, it is really about experience and how, they worked hard, they've made this money, and now we want to enjoy it, right? The worst thing you want to do is give somebody a charter bill for 50 grand. And then they feel really, really bad about it afterwards because that's the power of working with a broker because you don't have to deal with it. Just call us and we'll deal with it. Or if you got a good broker like we are, we use this analogy left of bang. Okay. So I'll give you an example, not to sound negative, but 9/11 was bang, right? It was happening. Everything after the right was reactive. So our team is trained, like, how do we be left of the issue? And I can't say it over we call it left of OS, and you can we're being left of and our checklist, our team are all trained on how to try and predict as much as possible that can go wrong and have a contingency plan. And at the same time, the client doesn't know any of that is going on.
Yeah,
there is many times that I can tell you, and if Prashil was here right now, he'd just be like this. There's many times, 2 hours before the flight, clients have called, or the operators called and said, we have a mechanical. We got an issue. And the client, depending on our relationship with them and how they want to be communicated with, some of them just want us to handle it, or some of them want us to tell them what's going on. But either way, when we have the conversation with them, there's already a backup plan. And that's been our secret.
Makes sense. Well, that's why we go with Ion Jets, like you said.
I hope so.
I could do it myself. I could Google but I can tell you a couple times, and like you said, some of the names that I've used in the past. I mean, when there's an issue, trying to find a replacement it's daunting. It's brutal.
Yeah.
So having that that kind of full service partner makes a big difference. So that's exciting. Wow.
We've been very proud of it. The team that I have right now, we've had the same team for almost 7 years now. Okay. Really no turnover. There's only been a few people that have kind of come in and it wasn't commission or this type of sales wasn't for them. I don't consider that a bad thing.
Right.
I consider that a good thing because we work all together to find out if it's a fit.
Right.
But I'm very, very proud to say that no one's ever been like, screw you guys, we're leaving, see you later. We're all a very happy team.
Great. Well, it was great talking to you. So quick chance to do a shameless plug to the audience.
Wow, shameless plug. Thank you again for having us on here. If anybody does have any questions about their aircraft ownership, if anybody has any needs for even just education on learning a little bit more about charter and 101,
implement your aircraft into
If anybody is a part of another program right now and would like some things to be explained to them or understood without being sold, we love to educate. So to your viewers or anybody, give us a call if you have any questions about anything aviation related. And if you like what we have to say, or if we help you out, then, throw our name to a buddy or use us once in a while when it comes
Sounds
to
good.
play.
And I just told you I'm going to become a user. I'm not ready to buy a $7 million piece of equipment right now, but I can definitely see the benefit of the 360 service.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very proud of it, and we have got a great team, and we'd love to help anybody that
And
comes
it's
in.
ionjets.com.
Yep, that's it, sir.
ionjets.com. So
Yeah.
everyone take note. So thanks again for joining us. Remember to like or subscribe to whatkeepsyouawake.tv. And like Todd, tell your friends to check out an upcoming episode, and we'll look for you soon. Thanks again.
Thank you for having me.